Your whole life is about to change, but everything that you knew about money, you need to change it completely, because what I'm about to dump on you in the terms of knowledge about how wealth works is going to change your financial trajectory entirely. Research has shown that 90% of millionaires have made their money in real estate or sustained it in real estate. 99% of billionaires made their money from private equity. Now, this clearly shows that real estate is where you build and establish a multi-million dollar foundation. So if you want to become wealthy, you don't just do real estate. You do the both, the cash flow and the holding in this industry. And what I'm about to show you is how do you build a real estate portfolio while also selling real estate. Most importantly, the skill that drives this market. So I welcome you to the Real Estate Millionaire Mastery, how you can build the millionaire portfolio and also sell out like a pro. To stay up to date on the recent development within the real estate industry and how you can keep building your portfolio, I need you to subscribe, share, and like. Get into the community. When you go through the description button, there are a whole lot of information that's going to help you on your real estate millionaire journey. Now to the main topic. So what is real estate? Real estate is a major asset class. It can be bought, it can be sold, it can be leased, and it can be developed for a variety of purposes. And this includes residential real estate like condos, block of flats, terraces, you got studio apartment. You also include commercial properties like industrial facilities like warehouses, hotels, Airbnb, and office complexes and plazas, what you have going. So if you were going to come into the real estate market, one of the first things you have to ask yourself is, what area of real estate am I going to focus on, but based on what you want to achieve in real estate? Now, in this series, my main concern is how do you build your own real estate portfolio at the same time make a lot of money from the sales of real estate to build this portfolio. So I'm going to be teaching in varieties to measure out to you how you choose what likely works for you. For most people, the fun could be in selling commercial properties. For most people, it could be the rental aspect of the business. For other people, it could just be about selling the residential properties or even managing the facilities. You just have to discover what works for you. And that's what we're going to be doing. Real estate is governed by lots of rules, but there are basic rules that you must know, and this is the way you stay ahead of the game in this industry. Now, particularly talking to the guys in Africa using Nigeria as case study. Now, one of the things you need to know in real estate is the size of the land, which are measured in square meters, okay? So different square meters, narrate the price those lands are gonna sell for. Now, the most popular square meters of land you have in Nigeria, which I know a lot of countries have too, is from 150 square meter, 300 square meter, 350 square meter, 500 square meter. So now for standard measurement of land size, depending on your region, on your environment, or the broker, it varies, okay? Now, but they have what they call standard plot size, 50 by 50, 50 by 100, 100 by 100. You need to do the research, but this is not a problem. But the main fact is that you must know these things before you start marketing. Because when you start selling, these are the questions people are going to ask you. So what's the square meter of this land? What's the size? Now you can't tell them it's a plot. Okay, yes, it's a plot. What is the size of this plot? Because one plot in some other place can be 150 square meter. One plot in some other place can be 300 square meter, depending on the real estate company. Another plot can be 500 square meter. For instance, right now, we currently have an estate where a plot is selling for 25 million naira, and that is 500 square meters. In that same place, we're selling 300 square meter as one plot for 15 million. So we call both of them plots. Are you getting where I'm coming from now? So this varies from location to location. So don't have a stereotype mindset that when they tell you one plot, then it must be this side. Okay, now let me even shock you. There are lands I bought in the eastern part of Nigeria. A plot is about 465 square meter. That's what they give to me right now. Now, there are some we bought in Lagos where we're selling right now. We bought a plot at 600 square meter. But when we're selling as a real estate company, we're selling at 500 square meter, 300 square meter, based on what we've developed into that land and what we want to achieve from it. So these are the basic things. The second rule and the second thing you need to know is what are the landmarks and what are the proximities close to those landmarks, from those landmarks to your land, because these are things that influence the rate at which people are going to buy those properties or patronize any project that is done on those lands. So it's intentional that you go out there, look out for those landmarks, do the measurements by time in minutes and square meters, and represent them in your documentation and also your presentation. The third rule you don't get to fail. See, you don't joke with this, okay? So this third rule is a must. You must know the title of the land, okay? So that takes us. What are the types of documents you need when closing a real estate deal? Number one, a survey plan. The survey plan shows you what you're buying, the measurement, the size, your borders, what differentiates your land from the other person's land. It shows you the entire angle, measurement, and the plan of that land, and it comes with the number of your site plan. Number two, and don't forget, the survey plan must be a registered survey plan. If someone else registered that survey before you, he is the authentic owner of that land. You got a survey, but it wasn't registered. So the person who gets to register a survey first becomes the authentic owner. The second document you need is approved layout. Now, the approved layout document is not really compulsory, okay? It's from the community and all that. So basically what it shows is what should be done, what kind of project you can do on that. Is it commercial? Is it industrial? Is it, residential? That's what you really see from the approved layout. That's the number two document. The number three document you need is what I call a sales receipt. Now, it's sales receipt or contract of sales, okay? Now, this document is very important. I hear a lot of people say things like, oh, this document does not carry water and all that. You don't want to find out. Get your sales receipt. That's the evidence that money left you to the person who you bought from. You understand? Then, the third set of documents is the deed of assignment or the deed of conveyance. This document shows the history of this land, the people who have bought it before you, and the proper handover of that land to you. That's what it shows. Now, the deed of assignment and the deed of layer is a very, 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 it authenticates your ownership on that land. It's like an extension of the registration that been done on that land. Now, there is a fifth document, which is not compulsory all the time, unless maybe there's an issue which you call the C of O, governor's consent, a session, which comes with the gazette and the rest of that. Now, watch this. If you're buying in most estates, maybe this we have already done the C of O, which is also enclosed in your deed of assignment or your deed of conveyance. But in a situation where you're buying a large span and this documentation has not been done, I advise you go for it. But if you have a deed of assignment and a registered survey, go for the land. Deed of conveyance, go for the land. It's a good deal. Because most times, when they go for the C of O on your behalf, that property is off the roof, okay? So you need to understand. So if you're going to buy registered survey, site plan or layout plan, I told you layout plan is not really that, but site plan is what you use to choose the plot that you want. Registered survey, deed of assignment, deed of conveyance, go for the deal. It's a good deal. A lot of things actually determine location, but one of the key things that determine location, that this is a very unpopular opinion, okay? Multi-languages, it's a signal that a location is good for investment. Whether it's a bush or a main city, you can track it from the city to the bush. Watch this right now. Go to Lagos in Nigeria. Go to Kumasi. Go to Accra. Go to Nairobi. Go to Kinshasa. Go to Cape Town, okay? Go to Santi, go to Port Harcourt. Go to all these states in different countries that I've just mentioned. What is unique about this state? Why do everybody want to stay in these cities? Why do people even call these cities main city? Because why? They accommodate multi-languages locally and internationally. Okay, so one of the ways you can dictate a very good investment is, does this location have multi-languages, like non-indigenous who are already living there, whether local or national? It doesn't matter. Let it not just be a settlement for just the inherent traditional, original owners of that locality. Okay, if you can spot this, then you have or just spotted a location where you're going to make a good investment. So most times when I advise people to buy land, what I tell them is, look for this kind of location, look for a road where the federal government is definitely going to pass a major road, or the state government will pass a major road. Go 25 kilometers off the road, which my mentor told me, buy the bush. Okay, then if you also want to, now this is the part that gets me very excited. Watch this now. If you're going to go into development and location, and you want to choose a location, these are the few things you need to look at. Okay, in the development, are you doing commercial or are you doing residential? Now, if you're doing commercial, are you doing a hotel? Are you doing an industrial, maybe warehouse, or are you doing a mall? If you're doing a shopping mall, you're doing a plaza, you want to go into the city area, or imagine estates where there are a lot of residents but no shopping mall in that location. Warehouses, yes, you're also targeting close by location for people who want to pack their goods, Then also look for locations that are closer to, imagine, building locations. People want to pack their goods and all that ahead of their projects. Now, but if you're building a resort, now, I don't know how you grade the hotels in your country and all that, but resorts are always exclusive, quiet, surreal environments that have experiences to offer just beyond accommodation. And the new hoteling system is resorts, okay? I was in Mauritius. I saw what they had in Mauritius. From the airport to my accommodation, or the resort I stayed in Mauritius, was Mona Lisa or Mona something, I can't remember, was about 2 hours to 3 hours from the airport. The entire journey was part of the package because we got to enjoy the whole rice farm views, mountain views, and all that. Now, if you come down to Africa, Seychelles is somewhere like that, okay? I know South Africa got a couple of places, Kenya got a place like that now. But come down to West Africa, Ghana is on the top chart of the game. So check what Ghana is doing. You get into Ghana right now, all their resorts are, you hear things like Shark Island, something island, this island, this island. They are all off Accra, off Kumasi. Some of them in the eastern region, the Ashanti area, off the city. You get to enjoy the movement. So now, see, that's why you don't just get up and build, okay? And there is no stereotype in development. You need to be able to become someone who turns bushes into cities. And that's what we're doing. So in Nigeria, we also started the same thing. So we looked at it, okay, guess what? If people could go down to, down Aja to build MN estates, many years ago when the whole place was a bush, and celebrities and money bags flooded that place and bought it off. Right now, people have taken even bolder steps. You have an estate called, is it Macarius Estate, owned by Pastor Matthew Ashimolo. Guess what? That's one of the most expensive piece of property in that Epe axis right now, as if you're going to Epe. There are other estates around there. Why is he selling that high? He's brought his creative genius into that environment. One of the best water fountains with water display in Africa is sitting on that property right now. So guess what? We came up, we said, you know what? Everybody wants to go to La Campagne Tropicana, and La Campagne being where it is, from what I gather, it's been there for more than 2 decades, okay? So if you more than 2 decades, celebrities have gone there to shoot and all that, that means more people want to go to exclusive or secluded environment for their entertainment and relaxation. Guess what? We went down there and bought some hectares. And now we're starting the Seychelles Spring Resort in that neighborhood. It's currently, we've not even started. People have started making down payment on the off plan. The off plan for each of those is about 160 million. So why am I saying all these things? That when we talk about location, it's not about you don't choose location by popular opinion. You don't choose location. Everybody is buying here. No, that's not the way to choose location. It's detailed analysis based on what you want to develop, based on what you want to do. Even if I want to hold land right now, guess what? I'm going back to places as far as Abia State. Why? Look at what the governor is doing there. So you see, it's one of the smartest things. Now people are going to Aba. Guess where they want to go grab land? They're looking to get land in Obo Hill, get land in major metropolis. No, absolutely no. If you want to get land right now in this location, you should be looking at places off the main town. This is where they're going to really do real development, because the town has evolved. They need a new city. That's what's happening in Port Harcourt. Okay, they just surveyed the city with a lot of bridges and flyovers and all that. But right now, the greater city is moved down. Go see what people are already doing there. A lot of real estate companies took up there on time. Yes, we got 500 plots too in Odagwa. That road has a connection to Abia State. So all these things I'm telling you is that it's peculiar to different regions. But when it comes to location, because I know a lot of professionals will tell you, yes, in real estate, location is number one location. That's true. But what you need to understand is that you need to do proper analysis. Location does not mean that this is urban area, this is bush. What determines that a place is bush? What is the government going to do in a particular region? In what duration are they going to do it? So just imagine what we're doing right now in Ibejuleki, 6 minutes to Lakampan, 15 minutes to the deep seaport, which is the free trade zone. Other multinationals are coming there. Do you know how much a night will be going at the Seychelles Spring Resorts? So when it comes to location, I can't overemphasize on that. So we're off to the next topic. Pricing, okay? In real estate, there are 3 types of pricing. Number 1 is what we call the actual price. Number 2 is what we call the asking price. And number 3 is what we call the selling price. Now, the actual price is the price that you are buying from the family or the broker who closed the deal with the family, okay? This is the price you're buying to resale. So it's a no-go area for negotiations. The second price, which is the asking price, is what you put out in the publicity. The price that you put out, you're going to tell everybody, oh, this is what we're trying to sell. Oh, this land is going for this right now. Now, that's the asking price. Because when they eventually come in, oh, they might actually want a price. So now I have the selling price. The selling price is the price you cannot go below. So let me give you an example. So I go to the family or the broker that closes the deal, and the broker tells me, oh, this plot is going for 10 million naira. Okay? I want to advertise the same property right now after doing my documentation and everything and mapping and all that. Then I put out the land. I put it out for 20 million or 25 million, thereabout. Then from there, I can do promo. If you buy 3 units, you're going to buy at the rate of 18 million naira. You see, I'm still far away from my actual price. Then you come in to buy and you start negotiating. Oh, can't I have it for 15 million? And probably we've made up our mind that, you know what, we're not going below 17 million naira on that deal. So 17 million is the selling price. No matter what we do, no matter the promo, no matter the negotiation, we're not going below that price, because it's not about the price that you buy a land. In the documentation processes, there are a lot of fees that are paid. So most realtors or brokers sometimes lose sight of this thing in the excitement of the whole exhibition and, you know, flipping, and before you know, they're in trouble. So you want to calculate, what am I giving the lawyer for this? What am I paying for the survey? What am I paying for the entire legal process to make this land, you know, fit for transfer? You're going to check all that. So if you don't check this and you go ahead and start doing of your promo, you're going to eat into the main transaction fund, and now you have no profit, and yet you're owing investors on this deal. So this is about pricing. See you in the next topic. So in real estate, there are basically 2 major types of investment for the realtor, the broker, or the investor, okay? The first type of investment is what we call capital gain. The second type of investment is what we call cash flow. Now, a lot of real estate brokers or investors are basically in the capital gain part of this business. They're not really doing cash flow. So this whole concept of, you know, build and sell. I'm not saying it's bad. I'm saying if you have the money, do the both. Do capital gain, do cash flow. Now, cash flow is buying to hold. Cash flow is land banking. I can buy a land now for $10,000 and I hold that land for the next 5 to 10 years. My American friend will say, I'm going to milk everything out of this baby, you know. You hold this land for a very long time, and trust me, that environment develops a lot of things coming to that place. The same land you bought for $10,000, now you can sell for $150,000. Okay, you can. That's what we call real investment in real estate. Now, this works when the money is actually yours. Okay, this actually works when the money is yours. Another thing you can do in cash flow is what we call rental property. I've seen a lot of people say, oh, rental property is no profit and all that. It depends. If the money you're working is with investors' money and they are not long-term investors, you don't want to do that, because the rental property business is in the cash flow dimension. Because what you do when you build rental property on a piece is that you're literally using it to hold on to that particular land. One of the mistakes you should not make is make sure that the money that is coming from the rent is higher than the money that is going to the maintenance of the house. And that's why I also tell a lot of people that own houses, why own a house when the maintenance cost is higher than paying rent? Just pay rent. Be in a rented apartment, let your house take care of it, and you don't get to even do all the whole overhead in the house. It's now the responsibility of someone else. Okay? So when you're building rental property, we're talking about quantity here. And now this is what you're checking. Let's look at this, for instance. Say you did a particular development for a couple of units for 300 million naira. Literally on rental value, it's going to take you almost 10 to 15 years literally to get that money, depending on the location. At the most, 8 years to 9 years in the best location, because it's rental property, not commercial, not a hotel, not Airbnb. Now, what a lot of people check is this money. What they don't check is what is the value of the land in 10 to 15 years. The real investment here was not the property. The real investment here was the land. Okay? And guess what? Whenever you invest in rental property, stop running. See, whenever you put money in rental property or buy to hold, you just started your own bank. The fastest way to start a bank that does not have inflation is to literally buy and hold or build rental properties. It's the fastest way to be your own bank, own your own bank. Now, a lot of things people don't calculate is you want to go buy treasury bills, you want to go buy bonds and all that. Do you check the inflation rate? I was checking that of my country a couple of days ago. I was saying, is it 33% right now? Now, somebody told me somewhere that, oh, they're doing government treasury bills and they are getting, how much did they say they are getting again? Whether they're getting 21% or 31% per annum? I said, really? First of all, that's not an investment. That's not an investment. And two, what you're not checking is that, yes, you put 100 million in this investment, and at the end of the year, you saw 100 million. But in essence, you don't have 100 million in value because it can no longer buy what 100 million can buy. What do I mean by that? If 100 million would have bought you 10 plot of land in a particular location in 2023, by the end of 2024, that same 100 million can no longer acquire that land. It means you've paid a tax you did not budget for, which is called inflation. And how do you calculate it? Minus the percentage of inflation from your 100 million, then you get the actual money. So if you remove 30-something percent thereabout from the current Nigerian inflation from your 100 million that you put in the treasury bill and all that, how much do you actually have in value? So that's why real estate is king when it comes to this. But trust me, your property, your land is not going to depreciate that much. It's not, rather, it's going to do an increase. That's what it's going to do. Then remember the second one I told you, capital gain. In capital gain is where we sell to profit. So in capital gain, you can become a developer. You build, you sell, you get money on the money. You've increased your portfolio. You buy again, you build. It's a faster way to evolve your capital over time, especially when the money you're starting out with is not all yours or you don't have all the capital. Okay, because one of the main ways, now that's something I'm going to talk about in the next one. So I just told you the two main type of investment. So land banking is under what do you call it? Land banking is under cash flow. What do you call it right now? Rental property is under cash flow. Commercial property is under cash flow. But in capital gain, that's where you have build to sell, okay, and land retail. That's where you have it. So I hope this was helpful. Let's go to the next one. For you to properly authenticate the genuity of any property, land or building, finished and all that, you're going to need about 3 levels of research, but there are 2 you cannot joke with, and that's what we're doing now. So watch this. For the first level of research, you're going to need a CLO. We'll call them community liaison officer. A lot of time people take these people for granted, but trust me, these people are going to save you all the headache. Now, these people fall into the category of agents within the community where this property are. Some of them are just vigilantes, local security officials in that community. Some of them are the chiefs or maybe people who own businesses in that community. Some of them are even farmers. Now, these people know the history of that community, know the history of the land, know the history of it. You need these people. You don't just go in and you want to know if you're buying someone's ancestral forest. You want to know that. Okay, you want to know what you just walked into. You want to know how many people might have been fighting over this land. You want to know if somebody have died because of this land. You want to be sure. You don't want to be the next person in line for a fight that you did not start. That's why you need a CLO, a community liaison officer. Never ever joke with that. No matter how your sweet talk or the friendship go back later and look for people to. It's like in those days when African parents want to get wives for their kids, they go into the community and do all those search about the lady and all that. But don't worry, Instagram has the data for most of the ladies these days, so who goes to the village anymore? So that's the same thing. Instagram does not hold the data for the land. Okay, you need to get into the village to do that. The second one I said is get a barrister. A barrister is going to be the one to help you check and make sure you're not collecting a fake survey plan and make sure that survey plan is registered. Get a site plan, make sure it's authentic, okay? And make sure you're not crossing into another person's land and all that, and make sure nobody's crossing or encroaching on your own. Now for the third level of research, you will get that the moment you become a student in my masterclass, which is my mentorship program. Now, let's flip this. If you've been able to watch this training and this teaching to this point, I want to say, first of all, congratulations, because you're on your way, and we have a whole lot of people coming on our video from all over Africa, Nigeria, South Africa, Kenyans, Ghanaians, Tanzanians. I have people from the US, Canada here. I even got somebody from China. Now, I want you to go to the comment section. I want to get your feedback, your review, what you learned. Just put it out there, and don't forget to share, like, and subscribe to this channel. But this is the most important part. See, it doesn't matter how much you know until you begin to do what you know nothing. Mentorship is the legal shortcut to success. I know they once told you where you're going, or there's no shortcut to success, but that's not true. Now you can stand on the shoulder of who has been there, who have done it, who have seen it, and you can ride on their experiences to jump all the pitfalls and arrive. That's mentorship. So you can arrive faster than I did because I had to go through a whole lot, okay? I'm a family man, got 2 beautiful kids and a beautiful wife, traveled the world to train people on professional sales and all that, been to school in the United States to study as a pilot at the Epic Aviation College, back to real estate, which, guess what, guarantees my ascension into the billionaire zone. Now, I know I'm going to be one of the biggest real estate developers in the world. I know that. So I want you to keep it like Muhammad Ali. I am the greatest. And I know that. I'm the greatest. So you can choose another thing, but I'm the greatest. I'm the greatest here. Now, this is an offer. So I started a mentorship program, and what I'm doing is there are 3 ways you can come into the real estate industry. And so there are 3 ways you can also make an investment in the real estate industry. I choose to break them down into 3 to make it easy for you. So if you're coming in as an investor, you want to start looking at things like co-ownership, like owning commercial properties, owning hotels, Airbnb and all that. You don't have all the money, but you want to start with $10,000, you want to start with $20,000, we got you covered, okay? Now, for people who want to come into the real estate business, you don't have that kind of volume, but you want to become an agent, you want to start selling properties, selling lands, you want to become a broker. And besides, a broker is different from an agent. I'm going to explain that to you. One requires money, one does not require at all. I'm going to teach you as a new agent how you can make your first $5,000 to $30,000 in 12 months without a single capital into this industry. But for you to be able to access this knowledge right now, you are going to do two things. Number one, you are going to buy my next course, which is the $1 million strategy to become a millionaire in real estate. All you need to do is to go to Seller and check for it, the $1 million strategy by Victor Emelatobi, on how you can scale and become a millionaire in real estate. You need to go and look for that. It's just about $30 or $35 thereabout. Purchase that right now. Then when you purchase that, you are now ready to come into my masterclass. So by the time you get the course, you find out what it takes to come into my masterclass, which is my mentorship organization. I look forward to seeing you.